Good afternoon. Welcome back again to the second of 3 weeks on the web and interactive experience. This is Berkey Belser. I'm going to be, this week's topic is designing the interactive experience. I've got 2 parts, creating effective and then creating SEO-friendly websites. I'm the effective part. And Gayatri Bala, who's been with us for a couple of months, and I believe I introduced briefly last week, is on tap for giving us information about SEO-friendly sites. So this is going to be fun. Actually, a large part of this presentation was given to, and when I was a keynote speaker at the Interact conference not that long ago in Washington, D.C., a full-scale conference about all things internet. And the theory, I was bringing a different kind of theory than most of the folks who were actually, everybody was obsessed with Twitter at the time. And we've really, what I was trying to do is bring back and ground people in fundamentals of creating that kind of interactive experience. So as soon as we get these things to click through, I'll go to my backup. Okay, good. All right. We can never start without a little bit of a hiccup. So there's no movie here, but I did want to bring in some thoughts from the Sting and just sort of organize it around that wonderful movie. The conversational brand down below, this is the important part. The conversational brand previews the website brand, and I want to use an analogy that some of you may have heard of before when we talk about conversational branding. And it's this very familiar question that people ask that says, hi, what do you do? And our answers to that question are really completely inadequate to the task. When they hit their website, your website, you've got to, let me back up for just a second. When I go to, when they meet you, when individuals meet you, they've got that wonderful, friendly person there that they're meeting feeling confident and hail, hearty, and well met. Then they come to the website itself, and it's, oh my God, is that you? That website is so completely different than the experience of meeting the individual. What I want to try to do today is talk about how to align that experience of meeting individuals as well along with the website itself. So the typical answer to the 30-second pitch is all wrong. It's really, I'm a lawyer, or I'm a consultant, or I'm an accountant. It's often followed by an apology. But people aren't looking for a resume at that moment. They're trying to find a way to get to know you. They're looking for an opening to know more about you and to begin the relationship. And all of this, when we talk about creating a digital experience, we're also talking about, and we'll learn more about this next week when we talk about pioneering the digital relationship. We're talking today about creating an experience that feels friendly, that feels open, that feels like I've got somebody that I'm going to meet. So there's some rules that we want to follow, and these are rules that very few people ask when they're developing a website or any marketing communications materials, but in fact, these are almost the only things that you must ask. The first is, have a purpose. What do you want the listener to do? So if I'm building a website, what do I expect? Where do I want them to go? What do I want them to do? It's not enough just to have a website. Second, I want to create a dialogue. Tell a story, but once again, not recite a resume. That individual who met you at the cocktail party, at the museum event, at church, wherever, they are not looking for your resume. They're looking to try to get to know you, and that's what a website is. That's the first opportunity that we want to take place in a website. Third is position yourself as important, confident, and a leader. I can't imagine that anybody wouldn't want to be so. Yet, when you look at many of the websites that are out there today, you can't imagine that this is possibly a goal for that organization to appear important, confident, and a leader. So if we look at a tactical approach, we want to really invert the usual order of the answer. So we want to, instead of saying immediately who we are, we're going to focus on the bigger issue. We're going to talk about we, the organization, instead of me. And you'll see that we're going to urge people to tell stories. We want to create in our conversation, just like we want to do on our website, we We want to create bridges and not dead ends. So if I were to look at the 30-second pitch, you could consider starting with a question. For example, someone says, okay, hi, how are you? What do you do? Well, you know how companies use slogan like, if you've got the time, we've got the beer. Well, my law firm protects against others using those slogans improperly or stealing them outright. I've just picked someone, Ropes and Gray IP practice in the New York office. All right. So out of this, I have learned something about the individual. I've got an interesting story that I can latch onto and share a moment with that person. And I've also made myself seem important, and I'm beginning to create a dialogue. So all of those three things that we're trying to achieve in the beginning are achieved with this particular type of answer. Do you commute? I said, oh, sorry, go back to the beginning. Hi, what do you do? Do you commute from Virginia? Well, my firm made it possible for you to save 20 minutes off your morning drive time, helping make it possible to widen the Wilson Bridge. I'm the project leader for Bechtel. I work in our Washington office. So if you can make this natural and make it yourself, it's a great response to that moment, that elevator pitch, and it gives your elevator pitch a goal and a formula. You have to make it your own, however. It's a little bit different with a website. You want the same kind of interest created, and you've got to make it your firm's. So if you can be funny, bring it on. Here's another one. When I say boo, the stock market jumps. No, I'm kidding. Our firm spends a lot of time buying and selling large companies, and I'm right in the thick of it with others in our group. I'm a partner with a private equity firm, the Carlyle Group. So another approach, and you could do the same thing from your website. What's important is personality. The more personality you can invest in your website and all of your marketing materials, the more likely you are to develop a relationship. So it's also important to understand, and this is particularly true with a website, not just to mention this 30-second pitch, you buy permission to continue the conversation in small chunks of time. If you've disappointed somebody with your answer or with your home page, at the moment they land on it, they'll bounce away, or they'll look for the moment where they can turn away and talk to someone else. Probably, I really believe that great design and great communication, if you really get to the heart of it and think about it, is little more than an exercise in courtesy. People come to your website wanting to know something about you. Have you responded in a courteous way, in a direct way? People are meeting you with all of the best expectations at some sort of event. How courteous is your response? And a goal-oriented 30-second pitch is really courteous because it gives the other individual an entree into asking more about you and learning more about you.